Hey everybody, welcome back to Roadside Nuggets. How's everyone enjoying the squeeze out there? It's going on right now. It's going on for pretty much everybody at this point, whatever experience you're in. We definitely had an awesome breakthrough yesterday. And I saw another trickle out from that, from just like the profoundness that yesterday really was for this team, for this family, and just really healing a lot of things and moving things forward and forgiveness and releasing a lot and really just expressing. Like there's so much you don't realize, nobody really does. Still at this point, how much, expression will really heal, will really shift so much in a moment just because it was expressed. It was shown, it was made aware. And then it changes everything. Shifts the whole perspective, the whole direction of the energy. And that's what a lot of what I definitely personally experienced yesterday. And yesterday was it was a spin from like the pretty much that morning all the way through the day. There was so much just happening energetically around the family, what was going on, what we were all dealing with yesterday, and everybody was just like just busy, and a lot of moments of just really just like it was like an amping up of this energy. This build up had been happening for a couple days now, for probably longer than a week, and you had like small amounts of just like explosions, where that energy will just has to be presented. It has to be expressed right here, right now, to we move, so we can move forward. And we've had that, in a couple moments, and we finally got to the bulk of it, yesterday, and it was really awesome. We had some beautiful family guests over, and they are just beautiful lights, beautiful souls that mom is ushering along in this ascension process and just getting them set up with their roles. Um, and definitely, it brought in an experience where, out of nowhere, just organically, we all just found ourselves, sitting around each other, sharing things that most of it that was said, I had never heard a single word of it for the last 3 years, So it was incredibly insightful, for me, and expansive beyond so many lanes for myself, that them how much you can expand in a night. And literally, it was mom she put me a checkmate in a big way, because a lot of my attachment, a lot of my obsessions that my ego goes batshit crazy over, and it's a lot of the things I have with control and stuff. Of course, there's always a reason. There's always a justifiable reason of why that exists, or why that is done, why that is so, why is it that way. To where you hit that wall, and you experience a shift so it's such a catalyst in so many ways that it literally alters your course. It altered my perspective in so many ways, literally just with the experiences of last night. And there was a lot of moments where I heard words that I never dreamed I would hear come out of certain people's mouths. It took me, like, it stopped me in my tracks. And just hearing not only what people were saying about me, just like about each other, and like to hear that, there's so many moments, especially on mission, where a lot of people I feel can resonate with me, where we just we just put our head down, we buckle down and just push, and it's you're not really paying much attention to what you're hearing and seeing. You're just trying to get there, you're just trying to accomplish the goal and just get it done, because this is all you want, to just get it done, just for it to finish. And a lot of times where I can look in my subconscious and look and see where I've told myself these things, where I've looked and saw, the higher timeline in a lot of ways, but I honestly doubted so much. I distrusted so much and had such a lack of faith in people, and just in generally in this team and the people around me, that were the only ones that showed up for mom, the only ones that showed up for God. And it's such a bitch how the ego will create this like ulterior like illusion, where it bases people's actions and how they may have acted in a moment, and you don't really have a connection or relationship with them, or really know them in a lot of ways, to where that's where the ego bases a lot of your identification of them on. is basing off of that, what you've experienced with them. And so it tries to create this false illusion of the person in your mind where you think you know this person. And that's part of like this survival mode too, where, for myself, I pushed more in survival mode because I was not seeing what I was praying was going to happen, what I was praying would arrive at some point, that we as a family, we as a team would arrive to a certain point where it was that deep, deep love. It really was truly all about that. And it just, with that fight or flight and the aloofness and the disassociation constantly, there's so many moments I had missed. And there was also experiences that just needed to be had. So, realizing that we've been in a bigger process too the entire time, where there's a lot of experience that it just was not highest to have. And so last night it was literally learning like a whole nother side, of people for the first time. After you've lived and breathed with them for years and you've gone through so much shit together with them, and yet I hear words that I never heard before, ever, directed at me. And it's like, there were things that I realized I was, in a lot of ways, waiting for. Like, I was like, that was the deciding point for me that it was working, that it was happening. Like, the reality of heaven and 5D and all that was actually coming into fruition and, setting in place. That I had actually made it to that. And it was still very much in that fight or flight mode and just keep pushing myself, and not trusting that they were anywhere close to that or could see those things in other people or even in me. And this is where like the underdog like programming really gets you, where you feel that you're just not seen. You don't feel like you're respected. You don't feel like people actually understand your intentions or what you're trying to do. And so where you block them out more and create more of that separation. And at the same time, they're just trying to understand you. They really do see a lot of things that maybe you don't see about yourself. And maybe we've been stuck. I know I have been stuck in this, delusion that they just don't see me. But it's something that's just perpetually told myself over and over subconsciously is not actually still happening. There's been people watching and observing me and living with me for years now, who have known me better than anyone in my entire life, even my own parents. The people in this fractal, this family, know me way more than them. I'm with the people that like have seen the worst parts of myself that I never could ever show anyone in my life. And yet, we create this lower timeline, this lower conscious reality where we don't think we can actually get that family, get that love, and actually receive that and be worthy of that. And this last night took me for a spin. I literally sat at that fire, and by the time we were done talking, I'm pretty sure my energetic field was all over the place. It was like I was shooting in and out. My awareness gauge, everything was all over the place. I was so out of my body and just spinning and nauseous from the amount of how much my ego just got slammed in that moment. Because as long as it's justified, as long as you see reason or logic in it, the mind can bend a lot of things. But coming to that dead halt and hearing these words and hearing things that were expressed to me that were seen, that were documented, they were monitored and observed by other people while I was going through that, I had no idea they actually saw those things. I didn't know they actually saw me that way or felt that way about me. And so actually hearing it, how much that frees you in a lot of ways. Because we hear all the time so much of the shit. We hear so much all the time. Whether it's our own self-criticism, our own, self-inflicted harshness, or other people. We hear shit all the time. Complaining and griping and judging and all this stuff like that. And then when you just sit in a space of just beautiful, supportive things being shared and told to everyone, and you really can feel that purity in that, where there is nothing to be afraid of, there's nothing to be defensive about. And it was just really beautiful to feel everyone's energy afterwards as well. How calm and just like of an elation that really was. Such an expansion, just that it just provided such a relief. Yes. Thank you, angels. Such a relief, of that, expression and the release of what everyone had to share. through the years of being on mission, working side by side with each other, going through the hardest tasks humanity has ever been able to like step up to, and honestly having to do that every day, working shoulder to shoulder with people that you still don't fully know, because we have to focus on mom. It's mission, it's humanity. We have to get this out now, do this now, and it's funny, come to this place where you realize you still don't know so much about each other. And when you give each other that space where you really let them know how you feel, about them from your heart, and how you respect them and really honor, their qualities, their strengths of what they bring to the table, who they are as a person, and how much you really value and appreciate that. It changed everything. Because funny enough, even being here is like, that's something for me personally in my experience I never had. And I never heard a lot of that ever. And honestly, and I'll be honest, a lot of my jealousy and envy came from not having that experience. A lot of my bitterness and resentment on mission came from not having that experience. Because I didn't feel people could see that, or they actually honored and really, really did appreciate me that much. For what it's worth and what we chose to come here for and represent. We're all very aware of our contracts and what we took on, and it still doesn't change that we're people, that we're humans, and we have feelings, and we have lots of emotions that have to get resolved. And in the wake of this, it is so nostalgic to realize that even with pushing so hard and holding that example, there's still so many layers you have to keep going deeper and deeper, and we're not done. We're nowhere, near done yet. And we're still uncovering ourselves and healing ourselves in so many different ways as mom guides us to now, because these are pinnacle times, that all of us are getting pushed into a unity experience together with. So for me personally, definitely, it gave my ego a massive checkmate, because now I had this experience, because this massive, impactful experience is now before me. I'm living through, I'm listening to multiple people say beautiful things to me that I never ever thought we would get to arrive to a place where like this was gonna be an experience. There's just some things you're just like, oh well, like, yeah, that'll probably be like 100 years from now or whatever. You kind of joke with it, because you actually at the core you don't feel that that's something that you actually ever have, an experience like that. And so it completely spun my ass. It took me for a loop yesterday, and I was not prepared or ready for how much I said, which was even more of a checkmate, because when I really bared it all and I was completely vulnerable and really just shared, how I felt about everyone, like just me hearing myself say it, watching them receive it, and as their consciousness absorbed it, it added more of a fortified backing to that energy just collectively through us. Because now the collective consciousness heard me express it now. It's recorded through all these collective beings now before me consciously, to where they receive that and they hold space for that now, to where I felt this massive shift within my own core, my own being, because that was such a driving force of why my ego is the way it is. But now that I have the experience, and it's point reference now, way after all the bullshit, way after all the dysfunction, trauma, all that stuff like that, and now this is my experience, it completely nullifies. And I'm watching, observing it completely cancel out so much crap that has been such a stubborn nail in just my ego, how tightly it's wound and just in such control. And now that these experiences are completely, I can't justify it anymore. I can't deny it. I can't avoid it. It's like I'm too in this at this point, and with my integrity of what that means to me, mom knows I won't back out of it now. So it's like there's no denial. So the only way forward is forward, literally through that. And so that experience was very powerful for me last night, and I know for everyone, just to kind of be in that space where we were all just with each other, loving each other, and sharing how we felt in such a beautiful way, and how we saw each other thrive and really push for God on mission, and the strengths where we saw each other really just dig out, and how that was so important because in a lot of moments, no one on this team was always with mom 100%. And so it did come down to a lot of points where there was a lot of switch outs and there was a lot of trust in having to really rely on people just to be there for mom, just to be, don't be selfish, like focus on her, support her, push her. And then there was so many moments where we could actually like be grateful to each other and actually like say that out loud in words, like, thank you for being there at this time when this was happening and I couldn't be there. So thank you for being there. Just to get to that point where we could actually even share things on that level and help that deep core healing with the family and just how much we really have been through, for mom. And to keep her safe on this mission, it was a lot. And it required beings that absolutely had no idea what the fuck we were doing to get together and make it work. And we did a marvelous job at it. No matter what it looked like, no matter how the collective and humanity sees it from an outside perspective, we did a marvelous job. Such a beautiful job, and with who showed up and with everyone's hearts and how much they push and how much they really trust in this mission and in mom, we created the best human experience mom could have ever had at this point. And this dysfunction, this density, and how bad it got for mom, we were able to give her the best human experience with real family, real friends, people who treated her like a human being, who were there for her no matter what. And people you had never met in your entire life, you had to do that, standing next to them. And it changes a lot in you. And it puts a lot on your chest, that things that you just can't say. In a lot of moments, because you're all focused on the same goal, the same mission. So this is not important right now. It's not highest. But it will come back around, because it will be highest at some point. In order to cherish and really be grateful for those moments that you did push together for the greatest being that has ever walked this planet. And it was such a feat of what we all achieved together. And so we have always been about push. We've always been about just go, go, go. And so coming to that pause last night and that stop, to really feel into this, to really look at ourselves, look at what we've become, look at who we've grown into, what are we at this point? After everything we've been through, after everything we've fought through with God, it's like, who are we at this point? And just be able to look at that in a pause and reflect on not just the achievements, but where it leaves us at this point. Where are we at now? And where are we going to go from this point forward? What are we really going to receive and bring in as a lesson and a strength, and really, how are we going to start this second phase of mission really moving forward? And what's it going to look like? And with all mom's teachings, and just if we keep doing this, what mom taught us, we will make it. We will arrive there. And that's exactly what's happening. And as the loads keep coming off, as people keep getting more expressive, more vulnerable with each other, you can see. And immediately today, it was so distinctive today, how relaxed and at ease everyone was. And who would it be? After sitting by a fireside with your family and just literally outside, beautiful nature, temperature, weather, everything's perfect, and you're just going around in a circle, just basically serenading everyone with nothing but love and beautiful words of gratefulness and appreciation and just honor for who they are as a person, and that they actually are here and they're in this and they're doing it still. That was amazing. And it brought everyone such a huge amount of ease. Like this morning, everyone went to bed like at the same time. Like everyone really was like, it wasn't like everyone was really on the same wavelength, the same flow of energy. And after we kind of ended the fire conversation, and everyone had gone and expressed how they felt about each other, and all went inside, and it was like that one flow. Everyone just moved to the bedtime. We got up around the same time, and it's like everyone was really just at ease and happy today, and just very not guarded, not trying to like speed walk through the kitchen to like don't not catch anyone's gaze or not get caught up between anyone. It's like all the little things you watch and observe in the day. And nobody had that energy today. It was love. It was really just reveling in that energy and just allowing that just to be in the space of expression and vulnerability, and no one jumping the gun to sabotage it or change it into a drastic different way, or not getting uncomfortable with the energy and just trying to be like a walled off, like armor tank. No, everyone was just flowy and like found ourselves in different spots throughout the house and outside, and just like conversations and just breathing today. And it was magical to not only breathe, but also to feel that energy in the field of everyone just like having that deep breath and really appreciating where we are at this point and how far we've come. And for everyone to do that on like a unity level, and just you can feel that flow everywhere around the house, outside. It's in everyone's field, their energy field, and it's just something that they're permeating, setting off. It's like, I love you. And just the energy in people's eyes, and just there's more of a childlike excitement today, I feel. And I'm so grateful, Mom, to how Mom is a master chess player, and she will checkmate you, and it will be so good. It'll be so good. It's gonna hurt the ego so bad, but it's gonna be so good. And it's a miracle, and it's such a blessing. And how different I've been today, and just, man, like I look at all this stuff, and it's like I've just been releasing and transforming so much stuff lately, and this was a different transformation, unlike all the other ones I've ever been through. All the energy and everything, this one was so significantly different for me in my experience of how I took on that spin and how it hit me, and it just, that checkmate where Mom just like, she got me on all the ends, and then my ego was just like, like trying to figure a way out. It's like there was no way. It's fucked. And I was just like, oh man, this is a good one. And just like going through the experience, like, okay, it's gonna break down. It's good, yeah. And it was such a nauseating like spin last night after all of that, because I was literally overwhelmed and drunk with love. Literally, that's the only way I could really express and explain that. Like, I had received so much love and so much like just beautiful things said to me. Like, literally hearing that much from 9 different people set me over the edge. I could not process fast enough, because I have a big block to receiving. So like from one person, like, oh, it says this sweet, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, thank you, and I'm shutting it down, like the amount of like just onrush of like love that just hit me yesterday, and it's from, it was no stop to. It's like, okay, after this person, then this person, and this person, I'm just like reeling, like trying to, okay, like stay open, receive, be vulnerable, allow this, keep allowing it. And by the time I just could not keep up with the energy fast enough. I literally was so overwhelmed with letting myself receive that, and just the magnitude of that. I had never like been in this experience where I just received that much, and it really felt real and true to me, and it helped just solve and heal a lot of things in me that I've been fighting or so angry about, attached, obsessed with, still trying to prove a point on, still trying to like compete and all these different things. And it was like that whole experience just kind of like Mom came in and she just wiped the floor, like everything, just wiped it. And I'm like sitting here just like a loss for words, because now my ego is stumped completely on so many turns. It's like, can't pick a fight about this, can't point that out, can't focus on this no more. It's like, it's not even a focus. I mean, it's not there anymore. It's like, what I heard people say to me will forever be the greatest, most beautiful truth for them at that point that I will hold them at, in the highest point, which completely cancels out a lot of the bullshit that I've actually filled into place with a lot of stuff. I've penciled a lot of things in there that are not true, and and even if it was an experience I had, it's so what? It's my own attachment and lack of forgiveness. So like getting to that point where it's like you're just so real with yourself, and you're just like, all right, it's all gotta go, and none of it works. None of it is working at all, has been. And so yeah, I am ready to love more. I am ready to open up more and to, receive more love. And we are all worthy of that. We are all, you know, divine children. And I feel a lot of times I know Hope and Aurora had the same sign too, the Mars and Cancer, where you can just be so like just do it. It's just like focus on this, and it's just like almost at an impulsive level too, where you're so fixated on just doing it instead of like slowing down and really feeling into the moments, appreciating those moments in between, and it's like you can be obsessed with the end goal, the result, just achieving it, or getting it done, or having it, completed, and yeah, it does steal a lot of the joy out of the middle of it. But so definitely for me today has been a lot of reflection, breathing. Haven't really been fighting my ego on anything since last night. Like, my ego's been pretty quiet today. I feel it's like got a massive blow, and I haven't had like really any triggers today. I haven't been. Well, now that I said that, I'll probably get one. I don't know. I love you, angels. But definitely today's been so mellow, and I've been so grateful and appreciative with how slowly I'm moving with today, and it's. Yes, I like there are a lot of moments where I have this little evasive maneuver type, I guess you'd call it, like energetic, that comes through me, like when I just don't want to be around someone. I just don't want to I don't want to look someone at the eyes at all. I don't want to don't touch me, don't be around me. Like it's such a childish energy, and I literally observe myself where I was like how like out of my using my peripherals. It's so bad. But my ego's literally like little brat is sitting there in my peripherals scoping out and like observing where everyone's at, and it's okay, I'm gonna go bypass this room, not going in there, trying, and it's such a just trying to be evasive, and I'm just grateful for this experience, and really just the people that are here, and definitely I have so much dysfunction. We all have dysfunction. I have so much dysfunction. I'm fucked up, and I still love you all. I still love myself, but it's getting to that point where it's the real authenticity, the realness of it. It's the most freeing, really. And if you and I just and after observing this experience of how much bullshit goes into just arriving at the healing. And if I actually had this awareness, if I actually heard these words, if I heard them ever say things like that to me, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I probably would have been a wholly different person. I probably never have made the choice, which of course we all have contracts. It doesn't matter. You gotta let it go. But at the same time, it's now I have been through the experience deeply enough to where I can appreciate where we are at now. And I can hold space for that. I can respect that so much more, because I know the shit this family has had to walk through to keep right behind mom, to stay on mom's heels, because that woman is fast. She ain't slowing down for nobody. And so this family had to move it or lose it, literally. And we did our best keeping up with mom and just doing our best getting our roles, this mission, the things we have to deal with and heal, and it is all for a greater purpose, and so I am so grateful just to really be in a space where it's so relaxed, it's so vulnerable, and just real and raw, and there all the other crap that goes into manipulation, deception, and just trying to seeking and yearning and lusting after things and wanting experiences, and just the whole charade. And then we can just be so fucking easy to just walk up to someone and say something nice. Just tell them you love them. Tell them something that you are so grateful and that you appreciate about them. Something you respect about them. Something that you see that nobody else gives a fuck about. But you see them taking on the heat from that. And you see them carrying that weight. You see them achieving that. It doesn't matter if they're making a show about it or not, but you see that. And those things change people. They really help change someone, because a lot of times people don't people may not think that they are seen. They may not feel that, you know, they're even here in a lot of ways. You know, they just don't exist because they're just not cool or whatever, or they just like, you know, for whatever reason, they're just not liked or chosen in a lot of ways. You know, and those things really help save people because there's so much of the experience on the other contrast that they receive that any point in time, anyone just saying something beautiful, it's so profound because of how much of the depth that they've gone through in the lower and the depravity and the lack of that, that the moment it does come, it is so overwhelming. It is so strong, it is so powerful, and it just changes so much, you know, and that's really where the deep appreciation comes from. And for whatever reason, you know, contract-wise, you know, we had to go through whatever we had to go through to get to this point where we could finally reach this space with each other and really see this and share that we see each other, you know. It's not just a bunch of people walking around each other looking at our feet. No, I see you, and I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful that you're even here, breathing the same air that I'm breathing, because this is a big thing going on, you know, and that's powerful, you know, when you can trust and rely beyond just yourself in other people around you, you know. So yeah, I'm just very grateful for everyone in this family, for the push, how everyone is with each other, the beautiful little unique personalities and characteristics that we all have that just keep us lively and keep us, you know, always bouncing up for higher levels of joy, and we don't stop. You know, I will say that definitely this family ain't no quitters. I have seen some shit, and the quitting part ain't part of it, you know. And it's funny because, like, we'll make a big deal about, like, oh, I'm done, I'm quitting. No, I'm not doing it anymore. Guess what? Tomorrow, is doing it. The same people is, like, they show up. They're not willing just to, like, just quit. They're not willing just to, like, throw in the towel and just, like, well, it's whatever. Now, I gave it a good go. I pushed my push. I'm collecting it. I'm collecting now. You know, I'm out. You know, not a single person here. Still pushing. Still getting up every day. Still, you know, being that example, that light, and bettering themselves, getting through their own self to reach mom, you know. And it's just been a very powerful, keep saying these words are new words, like very powerful, you know, experience, you know, for all of us, and just to see the light in everyone today as everyone's kind of walked around just kind of like smiley and chatty and just very open and like children, excited to see your friends that day. You know, you wake up, you're like, hey, hello, you know, like, and it was totally a different energy. And, you know, I was so grateful, you know, just to sit outside and smoke that cigarette and just to feel everything just calm. You open the door, you hear a sound around the house, everything is just like, it's like a thick overlay of energy, just calm. It was like saturating everything, you know, this morning, and I just like laid back in bliss and just soaked it up. I just felt into it, and it was soothing in so many ways, you know. And, you know, where we go from here, pushing forward, you know, just keep doing it, you know, keep doing it bigger and better and grander every day, and, you know, expressing, you know, don't go back, you know. And that's one of the ways that that checkmate with me, it gets you, because you can't go back. You can't go back asleep. You can't deny now. You can't, once you have that epiphany and that realization, once you see it, you can't deny it anymore. And at this point, with how much of this team has been pushed on energetic frequencies, at this point, it's like when we see it, and it's like we're over it. Like, all right, like it's not even worth going through pain and suffering now at this point, because I fully know I'm doing this now. You know, and so like at that point, it really, it grabs you, and it's a heavenly, beautiful, divine enforcement back into alignment, because you are so aware of that's the way to go now, you know. And it's the greatest mercy you can have on yourself, honestly, you know, is to just accept, drop it, turn around, go back to the flow, you know. And the pride was definitely a thing for me, you know, in some moments when the sharing started amping up and stuff, and definitely the pride tried to come in, and it tried to block. It tried to, try to be the non-receiver. The prick that doesn't need comments, doesn't need compliments from anyone or love, and I don't need to hear what you had to say. And it was such an asshole. Like, I saw it too. It was like just this like extreme irrational energy where it just doesn't want to be loved. And it was a beautiful, and I was kind of beside myself. I was like, wait a minute, I like what's going on right now. Fuck off. Like, and it was like literally a different side of me was trying to come in and just like, I was like, butt out, bro. Like, it's not about you. But it like literally just didn't want anymore. It just wanted to block. But I saw it enough and felt it enough in that moment with the catalyst of being faced with so much love, how much he really stuck its neck out. And I saw some shit. And I went after it completely. I like a heat-seeking missile. I went straight after that motherfucker, and I started transforming and getting that shit out and really looking at it, where it was coming from, and and it's just a lot of like like rust, like old things that just get rust, and it's like all like orange and rusty all over around. It doesn't really open or turn well or anything like that. And that's kind of what that energy was. It was like this old, stagnant, rusty ass fucking energy that literally had no purpose. It was just so much in amount and volume that it just literally was just like a decay. And that's all it was. There was no point or reason or purpose or intention originally behind that anymore. It was just a rampant energy in me, totally just for justification. And that was definitely something I had to process and let out. And it was just such a wild, nostalgic ride yesterday, last night, this morning. And I remember last night before I went to bed, after all that, and I was just still kind of spinning and struggling, accepting. It was like, okay, I heard it. I was watching their mouths move when they say it. I can't deny it anymore. Like, they love me. Like all the, like, and of course I knew they loved me, but it's like that deeper, like the deeper awareness where you really feel seen by other people. They really feel you, and they really, really do love and respect you, and they honor and appreciate you. Like, that kind of deep love, it takes some moments, and for me, it takes moments for me to like, whoa, slow down, all right? What do you want from me? It's like, it literally was just so much just pure love, just to give it to me. And we shared that with each other going around, and we all shared how much we saw each other and just really just are grateful that we exist and that we're here together. And I listened to some music that night, and like Mom's like picture, and she had like this, I'm gonna go get it because it's so beautiful. There's this picture of Mom that we had, and it was her beautiful glasses and her big bow on her head. And like it was Robin. It was so good. I was like blasting this music, and I was just like in tears. I was like sobbing and everything. And then whoever put like the picture there, they had it turned just so to where like it literally, like, out of the corner of my eye when I looked, it looked like Mom, like, it was like staring like right at me out of the picture, like her little smirk. And I was like, as soon as I saw her face and her eyes, and I saw like the grin and everything, like I just broke. Like everything else started coming out. I was like, oh, like. And it was an amazing release, and I was just so grateful because in those moments I was really feeling Mom's work. It wasn't just like, yeah, Mom brought us together, yeah, Mom loves us, she created a family and she did this. No, I was literally living, breathing, watching Mom's work, coming into fruition. And all the work she had done individually with each person on this team, how she nurtured us, how she grew us and really helped us become who we are, and living that, like feeling that energy, feeling that her essence, feeling her teachings flow through each person, and like hearing her through each one talking, that it was such a very nostalgic, euphoric experience, like all around. I was like in so many like different dimensions, like I was like, what is going on? And like I just felt Mom so strongly yesterday, and just like everything we had pushed for on mission, and that Mom was like dragging us over and over and over again on this. We were not getting it. We were some solid rockheads. And to finally see we arrived. To finally see so much of what we could not get or were not getting while mom was here. It's like watching literally us organically just walk into that space, that frequency, and just to do it. And it's like, holy shit. That's what mom was trying to get us to do. And it was like, and it's like this excitement blowing up inside of me where it's like, it starts to see, it's like mom's like, we're so close, like the blueprint when you start to see the energy shifting back more so into the alignment and what mom had spoke years before. And now I'm seeing the living play out of it, the physical movement of it. I'm just like, like getting all excited and like, just like antsy about it because it is that magic. It's that magical synchronistic event and experiences start trickling in really fast where you start to see all the things that mom said, all the things that she said she was going to do and she was bringing in and she was correcting now, and it's all true. You're living it and you're starting to feel it and witness it happen. And that's another part, the witnessing. Like, yes, of course, God did it all. But we are literally witnessing what she did now in these moments. Every single moment. And that it's just very powerful and a lot of very overwhelming for me in a lot of moments, just feeling into like how big she really did it. She really did it all the way. Big all the way, and then she still went home. That's funny, yep. She did it big and she still went home. So take that, egos. Yeah, this family we're some strong nuggets, and the things that we will have to step into as roles and have to become more of. I am honored to be here with these beautiful beings that have shown themselves, have been real and authentic, have opened the closet, so to speak. Everything, the call-outs, the tribunals, the things that we have done on mission, how much we have really, really shown ourselves to each other and to even before God. That is what I trust. That's what I completely commit to, myself to, and I am loyal to that, because that's real truth. And living a life of people that are so good at hiding things, even themselves, I'm sick of that game. I really am. And just to be around beings that it's not their cup of tea. I am so happy, and that you can achieve greatness with that. You can build amazing things with that, and just being together. And it's a new word for me, and this is where a lot of my pride comes from, is that self-efficiency, just being able to do it by myself and be prideful to say that I did it. I didn't need you, didn't need anybody else. Nobody helped me, and it's such an old card at this point, and my mouth literally gets dry every time I talk about it because it's that played out. It's like, this is redundant beyond redundant. Let's just chill. And I feel, the loneliness, the whole lone wolf thing, and trying to be the smarter, and it's just old. And for once in my life, and after this massive push of my life, the greatest push and commitment and loyal, honorable thing I've ever done my entire life is this mission, is serving God. Out of anything I've ever done, is the grandest experience ever. The most profound thing I've ever done with my life, with this body, is serve Mother God along with these people on this team. And so, for that, I'm ready. I'm ready for love, ready to receive more of that, and be more open to that experience. And just saying this out loud now to the collective, that is coming, because you're not going to get to this ascension by yourself. You might be good, but I tell you right now, you ain't that good. You ain't Mama God good, all right? She's the pro. And nobody can do it like she can by herself. And she only did it because she had to. And that's not necessarily something to be prideful about or boastful about. She got stuck with it because she had to do it, because she's the only one that could do it. It's not really, just like go around like, oh yeah, no. You're gonna need everyone. You're gonna need team. You're gonna need people to support you, just like you need to support other people. And this is why, this experience is very profound, and it's gonna push everyone, the whole entire collective. This streamline of emotions and energetics that hit the collective on Monday, Monday, it was yesterday. So that and Schumann popped off, and that was the start. That was the beginning of a lot of energies getting implemented to start this massive kickoff of emotions, an emotional recycling bin, I want to call it, for humanity, where literally it's not voluntary anymore. You don't have a choice. Those emotions are now getting triggered by whatever's highest in contract now, and they will flow up. So that's a whole lot different from everyone still having control and free will and choice and all that. This automatically bypasses all that. It might trip y'all out, it might spin y'all, but at the same time, God told you years ago that free will is done. We don't have free will. It still looks like it's part of the illusion. You might think you do because you have a lot of control, but it really comes down to, at the end of the day, what we got to do collectively and globally on this planet, those things are not up to you. And so they are now being enforced divinely. By divine, and I guess in interjections, like in a lot of ways, and mom's coming in. She's just gonna push the catalyst. She's gonna really bring the intensity. You're gonna feel the heat, but it's what you need to get moving with it, to actually not just sit there docile like a deer in headlights and just let your karma slap you in the face. It's like you gotta wake up, you gotta breathe, you gotta live, feel it. Cry it out. You gotta move your legs and start living for yourself again. There's so many people that are not doing that, and so many people that have given up. They're just in so much lack and just confusion, or just no sense of stability either. To stand on anything, they got nothing. So they're more willing just to go with the conformity, the greater majority, what everyone else says. That's same thing, and that allows us the beautiful opportunity to flip it as the thunder just kicks off, and to decide and choose that every day it can be better. Every day it can be a higher, grander experience. Every day you can go a step further than you did yesterday. And it's true for all of you, including myself. You can go a step further today than you did yesterday. Don't play the game like, oh, well, I made it this far. I got here to this point. This is good for now. No, fuck the now. Get all that out and just keep going. Keep stepping. Keep moving one foot in front of the other and allowing the experience. We waste too much time playing mind games with ourselves. Playing justification and reason and debate with this illusionary ego that at the end of the day just wants to stall it anyways. So you're only enabling the inevitable. You still gotta get there. You still gotta realize it. You still gotta heal it and get past that. Make it easier for yourself. Just start speaking and expressing the truth. Tell people you love them. Go give people hugs. Allow yourself just to go and be in those experiences and stop wasting so much time and focus on all the stupid experiences that don't bring you joy. But where are you at? You're in those experiences. You're in those places. You're with those people. You're doing those things. Yet you're crying about your experience. Just do something else. Anything at this point under the sun, please, but make it something else. Something different. And this is going to require a lot of people just to get their balls. I know I definitely I definitely had to get my balls, because coming, it was a lot of fear that shot up, in a lot of ways, because this is everything that, so much of what I heard last night and I received, it was everything that I always wanted in life, from a family, from brothers and sisters, to even hear my own brothers and sisters ever say that. You saw my family today, and so I don't even talk to my siblings. I'm probably the worst oldest brother they've ever had in their life. Probably still is that award today. I'll take the trophy. But and that energy of just having the complete flip of all my life nightmares, of everything that I have guilt tripped myself with fucking up in my life with my own siblings, my own family, and not, being accepted and loved, and all these different things about just family trauma itself, and just like horror, family horror, that this is my family, the people that I love the most, and this is how they are. That's horror. And for me to have the flip of that, literally had the flip of that entire experience, where it was everything I had been trying to get to. It was everything I was trying to hear. It was everything I was holding on the tightest in my life, just to hear those words, to have that experience, to be around people that actually felt that way, and it was like, boom, in my face, and that was definitely something that I had to fight and struggle with, to allow, I had to fight and struggle to allow myself to be vulnerable and open up and express, and once I saw that, once that was given to me in the experience, there was no going back. It was like all the insane push, all the insane just like whatever, cut it off, just keep going, all the insane, like the impulsive drive and all that. It was like this horse that lost legs and it came to like a stumbling, like tumble roll into a wall. It's like everything, this whole ego was like really riding on, just like lost footing. Like as it was coming and I was listening and feeling, like I just feel inner like mechanical limbs just breaking. It's just like, what is going on? It's just like just complete discombobulation, just like dumbfoundedness, like not even know what to say back. Just I literally just like scrambled, just could not even like utter like really, I didn't even know what to say back to most of the time. Just cried, and I just like smiled and cried more, and I was like, I don't know what to say. I love you, thank you, like, and it was so much, it was heavy love that I was not ready. And like, you're so bitter that that's not your experience, you don't receive that from others, that where like it hits you, it's like, holy shit, your plate is full, and like you weren't even like sure you could like receive all that, and then it was a lot, and it set me up. It expanded a lot of things in my vulnerability to where it's like, like a shock shell syndrome type of thing, where like, it's like, I guess it's like a term the military uses, I feel, but where like so much PTSD or just like trauma from just like the gaslighting, or just being, like the shock of the impact of the experience is so loud and like just so overriding to your senses that it shuts a lot of things down, and it creates this apprehension where like you just anticipate this very chaotic, very overwhelming experience just to be anywhere around the corner. And so like, just to have that off, just to feel that not even there anymore, that I don't even know at this point. It feels like some kind of animalistic survival instinct that would just generated itself out of, a unique experience that I just needed to survive and need just to protect myself, defend myself against all odds, against all opposers, against any naysayers, defend, protect myself, keep going. And it was literally like a soldier warrior programming type thing. Probably picked up from my dad, but it's just like, it's very stubborn in a lot of ways, and it didn't allow myself to receive a whole lot or love myself a whole lot in the ways that I needed. It was out of my own control what I allowed to be received and received and allowed to be in my experience. And yeah, it is, you just don't feel like yourself. I don't feel like me today. Like, it's like a very weird feeling. Like, I've been very, very chatty today. I've been very, like, just smiling and giggly and, like, open eye. Like, I noticed that, like, my eyes are way open, or they're more wider open today than usually. Like, I have, like, this, cool guy slant thing going on. But today my eyes are just like, they're like wide open. I'm like so happy and just like happy to be here and see people's faces, and I'm not myself today, and I'm the most grateful because of that. I am grateful that I feel different to the point where it's just new, and I like it's refreshing to feel so new that like there's a lot of work to do, but not work in like fixing or anything like that. It's more like work to figure out who I am now at this point. Without all the dysfunction, without the pain and all this stuff, right? With all the things that were in the way before last night, well, who am I now? With those no longer being my reasons for being an ego, for this not being something to attach to, this to control, and they've disappeared. What do I do now? And it's such this massive space and free feeling that like I gotta move now. I gotta fill this up with something and just figure myself out, like how I want to express myself now, how I want to be and recreate myself and just keep going. And I'm just so happy that this is an active experience that I'm in. It's not something I'm pushing for. It's not something I'm waiting to get to. It's not something I'm, trying to get back to or not trying, I'm here. It is my experience now. It is my reality. And that's also part of the appreciation, where you have to slow down enough to actually start appreciating, like, being in that arrival, like arriving somewhere where you can really appreciate, that experience and flow, the environment, the beings around you. And, that it, for me, and I know for a lot of people, it takes a lot to slow down, because it's like you're so unworthy, so lack of receiving, just like you don't want to, like you just like, oh, I can just do it myself. And it's like literally you gotta like push yourself like to slow down and like, wait a minute, like just stop, chill for a moment, allow it, and it's like I've seen it a lot of times in like the spiritual light worker community, where people would, they would reach epiphanies and, like deeper healing ideas. And then they would understand a lot of things, internally, an intellectual basis, but that's where they stopped. They didn't think or feel that they had to change themselves, even though they went that deeply in the human psyche and understanding the subconscious and just how humanity is really just dysfunctional and messed up. Like what really caught a lot of them was because, they were more attached to the information, just more lusted after the information and to know, just wanting to know, but they didn't apply it. They didn't choose to use it really in a lot of ways to help themselves, free themselves, or with other people. It just became this thing where they obsessed over it like a hobby, but at some point it's just like, no, I don't have to do that. I don't have to. Yes, that's true, but I don't have to do that. Yes, that's absolutely right, but we don't have to do that. It's like, what is that contradiction? That's the whole reason why it even exists in the first place. That's why it's in dysfunction. Because it's contradiction. Because even knowing the truth, you'll deny it. You'll bypass it. Out of pride, thinking you know better, control, like all kinds of things. And that's still dysfunction. It's still pain and suffering. It's choosing to go a lower way. That, of course, will bring about pain and suffering because you're not on the highest timeline. So I'm very, very grateful for, just this family, mom, everything that mom has brought about, and just has given this team, and it was more than just words. And mom really gave this team, this family, life and a new life together in so many ways, where we're still learning and figuring out how that whole thing is working out, and we're getting there. And of course, we also can't bypass, that we are a reflection of the collective too. So being connected to billions of people on this planet and representing that consciousness, it's just fascinating, magical work. Even at this point on the team, mission is like oh my god, like we can sit at the table and not stab each other. No, I'm just kidding. It was never that bad, but like it literally was like intense moments where you sit at the table and it's like you can feel someone just about to blow you. You're like, okay, let's eat you. Don't breathe. And it's all funny. It's so hilarious afterwards. And you look back and it's like, this is a movie. Mom was so true. And she's like, this is all a movie. It's a comedy show. And she's going to have the last laugh. She already did. And she's the greatest, comedian, actress in all creation, truly. And, Faith, we're on the road eating nuggets, watching Roadside Nuggets. I love you all so much. Thank you all for coming in and joining today and just sharing space, here with me, with you all. And I definitely feel, I don't know, today is like, it's just so different. I feel so different. I don't feel myself at all. So it's kind of like wonky, just like, okay. So I feel, definitely there's a lot of changes and, as I keep moving forward and recreating myself and, filling all the holes with beautiful light and love, whatever it's going to co-create from within me, I don't know, but it's going to be awesome. And I'm excited to, just keep going, wherever mom left us off at, we just got to keep going, don't stop. And we're going to run into her very soon again, and so I have every intention in my being to, definitely, and Jerry has had say it a couple of times to me too. It's like, really getting to the point where you did it. You did it. You showed up. You did mission. It's like you pushed. And it's like, when are you gonna let yourself be loved? Like, when are you gonna let yourself be happy? And it's like I used mom as a constant freaking barter chip. Oh my god, mom was like my scapegoat, 24/7 on mission. It was like I was never happy because God was in pain. I was never happy because mom, she was just treated awfully in so many ways and just in a lot of ways of, just the collective and just her life, even up to that point in mission. Like, I was so mortified of how humanity had treated, how we have touched God and just her state. The living God in the flesh. And this is what we have done to her. Yeah, I was completely mortified by all of it. It was so deep for me in my awareness and how every day living that experience and watching her go through that, it was unbearable, yet still had to push through it. That I used all the time. It's like, how the hell am I going to be happy? Do you see her? Do you see mom? I'm not going to be happy until she gets on the starship. And that's been one of my main fights. And then mom kind of she kind of laughed, about that one, because she's like, well, I'm not here now. It's like, and she has ascended. She's on the starship, and it's just incredibly ridiculous how much I held on and really held tightly to that. I don't care about happiness. I don't care about joy or love or twin flame or anything. I don't care about any of those things. I don't really want them right now. I really just want to focus on mom. I really just want her to get on a starship. I really just want God not be in pain anymore. I don't give a fuck about anything else. And that's really where I and a couple other people on the team were too. Just transparency. It's all beautiful and grand, and I can channel about it and talk to the angels about it and share about it and talk to other people about it. But where it came down to personally in my experience, it was not something I even cared about. I didn't want it, didn't trust it, and it was more, to me at the time, it felt like it was going to be more of a distraction to me and my service to God and staying focused and just pushing as much as I could on this mission, to where I wrote it off as obsolete, and where mom really has had a lot of fun since she's been in the ships, with us and the team, and especially these little things that the team members have self-proclaimed, to be, and mom's like, okay, well, that's not going to work because, you showed up, you did this for me, you pushed, and that's all I ever asked. And especially for the beings who did wake up to mom and did connect with her and talk with her, mom's giving this whole planet back to us. And for me to have that block within me where it's not really worried or focused or even feeling worthy of her or even really caring if that was going to be my experience. It was such a sad energy, with that. And it's mom's just it's not going to do. It won't do at all. For you to be in my grand 5D new earth, this is very much a part of it. Faith and love and respect and honor and gratitude and all these divine things, that's going to be a part of that experience. So how did I and my little ego mind think that I was gonna arrive somewhere to this door and just bypass all of it? Like, oh no, I'm good. Such a lone wolf little asshole. Like, it's so serious. And where mom just had to checkmate me. She's like, all right, gone long enough. You used me as an scapegoat for like the whole time. You don't really have a justification anymore at this point, not to start loving yourself and being happy. And that's what I really felt mom was saying to me, and I totally agree. I completely agree with God on that one. I don't have a reason anymore, justification. I have nothing to deny myself happiness or real love, or to really see for myself what that is. And in a lot of ways, I can see that was also a way my ego was trying to run and hide, was behind me, mom being in pain. Is because I really don't know what a lot of those experiences are going to be like. I've never had them. In my life, in my experience, I've never actually had those really beautiful experiences, and just all those things that really come with, really unity and being connected with people and being in each other's spaces. And, I have always prided myself on the lone wolf, and I did everything I could in my life to be a lone wolf. And it's like, where I have to come back into unity and learn from a child standpoint in a lot of ways, these new ways of being around people and living with people and understanding and wanting to be there, wanting to be loved by others, wanting to be supported, those different things. Whereas like where before I had such an opposite contrast, where it was like, well, fuck that, I don't want it at all, and so now it's like I'm going back and forth and just experiencing that contrast shift, and it's changing me a lot. It really is. And I feel for all the children out there, because we're all children, and I feel for everyone out there just to allow yourself to see each other as children at this point. Everyone, I was sharing with someone on a session earlier today, talking about innocence of humanity, and how the ironic truth is truly at the core, after all this dysfunction, all full disclosure, and we find out all the bad juju stuff that's been done, the ironic thing at the end is like we're all innocent still. And that's like, whoa, that's a big gap. Yeah, it's a big gap to jump from finally finding out about all this and now having to move back into innocence and forgiveness. It's a big one, and I feel the innocence is it's a big key, a big truth where humanity, through forgiveness and letting go of the blame and the projections we've lived our whole life, so used to doing it and just so feeling justified in that, and that's really what's backing everyone, a lot of people's pain and suffering, a lot of their resentment and grief and guilt and shame, and just understanding that truth is coming and it's going to heal the world, because that's so much what people hold on to now, like the things they've done, the things that's been done to them, the things they've said that they can't get back, and all this stuff that's constructed a life of pain and suffering that they go on justifying and validating for themselves that this is necessary and this is their life because this is what's happened to them. And they identify so much with the pain and suffering and just the horror of it all, they can't see anything else better or higher than that. They don't feel they deserve it. Look at what I did, look what they did, look what's happened, I'm just fucked, and all these different external reasons why joy cannot be theirs, why happiness and love and forgiveness is not theirs now. And just getting ourselves to a point where we just walk up to someone and just fucking hug them, and it's like, I love you, thank you. It's like, hey, I saw you yesterday, like I noticed this, and like let people know that you see them, and I'm such a whore with this, where like my observations where like I see things and then I'll have my own mental chat or conversation with my higher self. It's like, yeah, I don't feel, just talking to my angels and stuff, and there's a lot of moments where I've let that go into deception. I've let that go into ulterior motive. I've let that go into premeditated thinking quite a few times, to where I let it turn into something else. When all while literally all it came out of, the thought loops and all that stuff that happened, literally was just because I was so resistant just to go over and say, hi, how are you? Or like, check in on someone because maybe they triggered me yesterday. I don't really give a fuck. I don't want to talk to them today, or I'm just going to ignore them all week or whatever. And it's like this stupid things where it's like literally my soul wants to go over and say hi. And it's like my ego wants to be this asshole. It's like, no. So then now I go into all these different things about like, I'm like, what is going on? It's like, it literally that happened just because I just could not surrender and just go over there and be in an experience with someone. It's like I'd be this little Jehovah brat, and it's just really cool, like how you get to a point in your transformations where you can just see yourself so much in the energy and what the ego's doing, and it's like it is, it is a bitch, and and it definitely is. It's so rewarding though, like when you arrive to these places in yourself where you get it and you understand it, and it feels so much more worthy, that the amount of blood, sweat, and just push, and the pain, the suffering, and the experiences that went into you getting there to this point makes it so worth it, and makes it so much more cherishable, where like there's meaning, there's purpose, and you can build something on that. You can build something on that foundation and it be stable and you thrive. Because it's true, it's real, it's authentic. It's not fake. You're not trying to deceive yourself from the very start. And, for this family, for this life that God has given all of us, that's given me, I'm so honored and grateful to still be here on this path with these beings, and the greatness that we are going to achieve together and push and help fulfill, mom's dreams. It's everything to us, and the people we meet, the people we join and connect with, more and more, the family will just keep growing, the supporters from mom just keep growing, and people are all going to start waking up very, very fast. So, I am honored to do this with this family, all of you beautiful divine beings that choose to step up, that choose to support God and honor yourselves, your higher selves, mom, and do what you need to do to move forward, to assist humanity. I'm so grateful to have found you all and have, and be here today holding space with you, and who knows? There's a lot of energies coming. The one that hit yesterday, the Shun resonance, that was getting the spark, getting the river of emotions that are basically going to be starting to trickle out through everyone on this planet much faster. It's an involuntary process. You don't get a choice, so just get ready. There's a lot of turbulent emotional waters that are coming to the surface. And so just drink water, be present with yourselves, be reflective, move a little bit slower. Okay. Nurturing, having patience for yourself, and allowing yourself to, be in the experience. Because the quicker you do that, the quicker you'll get through it. You keep trying to bypass, half-ass it, go all in and out and all this. You just end up wasting moments. You create more work, longer period of time to go through it when you can just get through it, be real, like ripping off the Band-Aid, and that's real love right there. That's what everyone needs. And so, definitely take care of yourselves. Ceremonies, we just had full moon not too long ago, but definitely these are still the moments of that trickle out period from the full moon, and where we're really still letting go of a lot of these things that we've come to the point of, like last night, for me personally, like these things that you've spent so much energy on and focus on, that now it's finally time for it to die. It's time for it to go, time to forgive it, time to release it and fully let it go completely, totally, fully in its whole being, let that go. And where that definitely creates a massive shift and a space where higher things can be appreciated and accepted, and therefore you have to choose to make the higher choices, choose to go the extra mile and not be afraid. Don't be defensive, don't go into distrust, judgments, or, just be in the unknown, trust in the unknown and have faith in mom. And allow yourself to just create a new story. Because you've been living the whole nightmare your whole life, and you've been telling it to yourself your whole life. You know, I, for one, am so down for God telling me a new story. And in order for you to hear that, you got to shut your mouth. You got to stop trying to think you know something and just let life show you where to go now at this point. And that's following the flow. That's allowing the flow to happen. It's allowing mom to guide you from the present moment of what is best, from the unknown and love. You know, and that's the best story you'll ever have. And it's the most exciting one because you don't know what's coming. You know, and I definitely, I'm bold for that. I choose that. I have both my hands raised for that one. You know, I'm so over this old story, and yeah, let's go home. Let's go home with mom. Let's have better stories for each other. Let's write better stories with each other, and ultimately we will arrive in 5D, you know, with mama together, and I can't wait. So I love you all. Take care of yourselves. You know, I will see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Or not 6 a.m. Well, yeah, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for a live stream with Jerry and Buddha. And definitely see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 4. All right. Love you.